Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. With you today, Miss Shaima Sayed. I'm a teacher for integrated science. This is lesson prepared with me, Unit 2. Lesson 1 is talking about components and layer of the atmosphere. You have talking about or studied before about layers of atmosphere. This is our lesson today. Which planets? First question. Which planet in the solar system have an atmosphere? Question 2. What is its thickness? Question 3. What are its components? What is expected to happen if planet Earth didn't have an atmosphere surrounding it? This is all the questions we are going to discuss together in this lesson. First, what is the atmosphere? what do we mean by atmosphere? نقصد بيه إيه؟ First, atmosphere is a layer of a gaseous. Imagine our planet is surrounded by a layer of a gaseous. So, our planet Earth from the planets which have an atmosphere. So, it is a atmosphere is a layer of a gases that surrounds the planet Earth. It's primarily composed of several gases. Atmosphere means a mixture of gases, the most important of which are nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, along with a little percent of argon and a traces amount of other gases. So mainly the nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. This is a picture for a sample of atmosphere. Atmospheric dynamic. Dynamics means like a movement. The proportions of atmospheric components are not a constant. This means we mean the percent maybe changes a little bit, changes continuously, a various natural process. If we look to this picture, we will find the nitrogen gas have the greatest percent, which equals 78. If you look to oxygen, 21%, carbon dioxide, argon, water vapor, other gases is 1%. Living organisms play a vital role on this exchange. In the process of respiration, all of us consume oxygen gas for respiration and produce carbon dioxide. Number two, in the process of photosynthesis process, it is opposite to respiration. Plant absorb carbon dioxide from the air and releases oxygen gas. So photosynthesis process is the main source of oxygen gas. Pay attention. C. Geological phenomena. We mean the movement of Earth's layers, like volcanic eruptions, can also add a large amount of gases to the atmosphere. Like this picture, if you look, you will find a lot of gases. A lot of gases is emitted from this eruption. There is a huge amount of reactions inside this volcano. Importance of the atmosphere. Before I say importance of atmosphere, can you imagine yourself in your room without walls, without roof? You will stay facing cold weather or hot weather or rains. So atmosphere is like your room, but for our planet, not for your room only. Now we are going to know importance of atmosphere. First, if you look to this photo, you can imagine without this envelope, you can find all rays of the sun and cosmic radiation enter the earth. Atmosphere act as insulating cover that protect Earth حماية يحمي from what? From harmful solar radiations and objects coming from the space. Object, everything, meteorites, whatever is there, find, which can significant damage to living organisms. Significant damage may destroy living organisms, not only human but animals and also planets. So protective shell. Next, atmosphere also retain a part of solar radiation, protect the Earth from harmful, but also retain a part. This is part has an important role. Why? You will answer. A little amount of solar radiation enters the Earth for helping to maintain the planet's surface temperature at a moderate level suitable for life. Means we can live in a moderate environmental temperature, not hot, not cold. Atmosphere play a major role. What we have studied it before, water cycle. In nature, mean you have a water of sea, ocean, rivers, lakes. This is when it faces a high temperature or a moderate temperature, evaporation, then condensation, precipitation. This is called the water cycle between these three processes, allowing the distribution of fresh water across a planet's surface. This is mean process for water cycle help us to maintain the fresh water as it is found now. This is a photo for uh, pay attention to me, water cycle. Main chemical components of the atmosphere: nitrogen, which percent is 78, oxygen 21%, 1% mixture of a gaseous. Atmosphere is a composed of a mixture several gases. The most important which are first nitrogen gas. It makes up approximately 78. Imagine from 178, it's about 2 over 3 from the percent. What is the importance of nitrogen gas? It enters first, its percent, how this percent is found. It enters through the decomposition of dead plant and animals. We mean that plant and animals, there is other organisms called decomposers, play a process called decomposition, breaking down their dead bodies. All of us in our bodies, there is a nitrogen molecules in the forms of tissues, decomposes again and return again to the soil. So decomposition of dead plant and animals, or as a part of the gases releases from volcanic eruptions. Yes? Nitrogen is a largely inert and doesn't easily react. We mean it is not active at normally and doesn't easily react with other gases or elements because it is not active element. 3. Its reaction requires special conditions such as a lightning or extremely high temperature. So its reaction it is not easily to happen. It requires special condition. As a result of the proportion of nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere is very low. So nitrogen oxide in the air, high or low? No, it's very low. This is a photo for the process decomposition and oxides and cycle of nitrogen. Second, oxygen. Oxygen is one of the most abundant gases. The second, after nitrogen in the Earth, which making up about 21% of its volume. It's primarily produced by food-producing organisms. We have said it before, in a photosynthesis process, the plant produces mainly oxygen gas. B. It is chemically active and essential. Essential, be attention. It is the opposite for nitrogen. Nitrogen not active, this is active. Essential for respiration. All of us, animal, human, plant, need oxygen for respiration. It also plays a key role in combustion process. Any combustion process, any burning process by other meaning, depend mainly on oxygen gas and industrial chemical reactions. Next, argon gas. Argon gas makes about 0.93% of the Earth's atmosphere. It is a very little amount of gases. It's from noble gases or inert gases, chemically inactive. This is the drawing for the percentage of the gases in the atmosphere. You will find argon and other gases. Argon is from noble gases or inert gases, as we said before. And also we have another gases like helium and neon gases. Fourth, carbon dioxide. It is a little percent. Carbon dioxide makes up about 0.04% of the Earth's atmosphere. Its concentrations varies significantly from one region to another across the planet. Ratio is not a constant. It differs according to if there is a lot of plants, it will consume a large amount of carbon dioxide and less amount of carbon dioxide. So it is not a constant, varies. Next, carbon dioxide is one of, we have studied before, from the causes of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases, do you remember it? It's like a glass home, which make a trapping heat, which allow heat to enter the house and prevent them from leave it. This is a very process harmful, which increases the Earth's temperature. This is called a greenhouse effect. We have studied also before, and we take. Do you remember? What do we mean? Continuous increase in the average temperature. It is related to a phenomenon called global warming. So carbon dioxide is the only of the greenhouse gases, which trap heat and prevent it from leaving the Earth to the space. This is a phenomenon is called the greenhouse effect and related to global warming. The best Hariri. Atmosphere also contains other gases such as water vapor, sulfur dioxide, ozone, O3, carbon monoxide, CO, and nitrogen dioxide, NO2. This is a photo for a natural greenhouse effect, normal, but when its percent increases, it raises the Earth's temperature on the other side. Next, layers of the atmosphere. Do you remember it? Or we are going to remind it again. It's very important. Atmosphere is divided into several layers. Each of them have its own distinct characteristics. The layers are arranged starting. We will start from the Earth's surface to the space. Next, number one, troposphere. Tropo, two, strato, meso, thermo, exo. Can you concentrate to this photo? You will find the tropo is the first, strato, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. The word sphere is a common, so you can tropo, strato, meso, thermo, exo, and end with sphere. Troposphere is the closest layer. First layer, as we have seen before. Number two, it extends an altitude 10 kilometer above the ground, 10 kilometer from the ground. This layer is the densest of all atmospheric layers. You will know why. Most weather phenomena occur in the troposphere. You said, so we have 2 points. Density. It is the more density. Number two, most weather phenomena occur in troposphere, including cloud formation, rainfall, wind movement, climate-related events. This is the photo for troposphere. Disturbed layer, you remember it? Rain, snow, temperature, high temperature, low temperature, thunderstorms, everything is this layer. Next, average temperature at the Earth's surface base layer is about 15 Celsius degree, but it is not a constant. As we go up, temperature decreases with the altitude at the rate approximately every kilometer decreases by a rate 6.5. Kilometer equal to 1,000 meters. So each kilometer equal 6.5 change or decrease in the temperature. This is also a graph for the relation between temperature and altitude. So as we go up, the temperature decreases, okay? You will find at the end it will become a negative. The temperature decreases as we go up. Can you tell me why? Give reason for. Due to the decrease, as we go up, atmospheric pressure decrease. Decrease why? Because the weight of air column decrease. With increasing the altitude, which causes the air expands. So the decrease in atmospheric pressure with increasing the altitude, which causes the air to expand. This expansion require energy. Oh, pay attention. Require energy to can move away from each other, which drawing the kinetic energy of air molecules leads to cooling. So you use this energy of the kinetic for expansion. So this is makes the temperature increase or means leading to cooling. This temperature decline continuous until region between tropo and strato is called tropopause, which marks the upper boundary of the troposphere. So the region between troposphere and the stratosphere is called tropopause, located in altitude approximately 11 kilometers. This is as a photo. Look, it is a region, separated region between troposphere and the stratosphere. Tropopause. thin of layer of air located at the top of troposphere, separated mainly between tropo and strato, but it is a thin layer, act as a barrier or transitional zones between troposphere and stratosphere, like a separating layer between both of them. What is important of this layer? This layer prevent the cold air in tropo. We said troposphere is a cold, and we didn't talk about strato, but stratosphere will know soon it is to have a warm air. So this layer, tropopause, prevent cold air in troposphere from mixing with warm air in stratosphere. So it is from the importance of tropopause. Biodiversity in the troposphere. You have studied before biodiversity. The troposphere is the home to the richest and most diverse forms of life on the planet Earth. It is the first layer. By biodiversity, we mean all living organisms present in a specific place, from the smallest microbes in the soil, the soil to the largest animal on the planet on land or on water. Again, biodiversity means everything of living organisms in specific, from the smallest to the largest, even though in land or on water. Next, extent of life in the troposphere is directly related to characteristics of this layer. Oxygen and carbon dioxide, we know that oxygen and carbon dioxide and nitrogen are found mainly in this layer. Oxygen and carbon dioxide gases exist in addition to water vapor and other gases, providing the essential component for life. Also, appreciate temperature for a biological process in it, in addition to suitable atmospheric pressure for most. So this layer is having, pay attention, oxygen, carbon dioxide, a suitable temperature for biological process, in addition to a suitable pressure for most living organisms. C. Interaction between this environmental condition and enormous diversity of living organisms make troposphere the most biologically active layer and the most important for sustaining life on Earth. Interaction, we mean interaction between all living organisms, make troposphere is the most biological active layer. We all live on the Earth, so it is the first layer. So under this layer, all living organisms interact with each other, which is sustaining, means استمرار الحياة. يبقى this layer is the more active due to all living organisms interact with each other. So we get food from this layer, and also planet is still here. We grow a lot of planets. So this is called the sustainability, as we studied before, sustaining life on the Earth. Stratosphere, second layer. Stratosphere. First layer is called troposphere, second stratosphere. Stratosphere is the layer that lays above troposphere. It extends from the altitude up 10 to about 50 kilometers. So again, from 10 to 50 kilometers above Earth's surface. This is numbers you have to remind it well. The temperature remains relatively constant in the lower of stratosphere. Attention, lower, until we go around 20 kilometers. 20 kilometers, the temperature difference. Why? Because this is the beginning of ozone layer. Ozone layer. You talk about a lot ozone, but you don't know what ozone. Now we are going to study a lot about ozone layer. Ozone layer means O is the symbol of ozone, O3. Ozone is found in the stratosphere. It extends approximately to 40 kilometers. So you have said from 20 to 40. Pay attention. P. I said the temperature in stratosphere in the lower, it remains constant, but it increases. Give reason. Temperature increases in the stratosphere as we go up due to absorption of ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun by ozone gas. Air movement in the stratosphere. Air movement is horizontally, like wind moving at the same for the aircraft or land. Air movement is horizontally. It is preferred for pilots to fly in this area because it doesn't make a resistance for flying. So, give reason for pilots prefer to fly in the stratosphere Because the air move is horizontally, which makes it suitable for flying, and stability and low turbulence means a lot of problems in flying. This is also a photo to watch again the layers. Okay, tropo and stratosphere. You will find in this photo stratosphere absorbs due to the percent of ozone. You will find it absorbs a lot of ultraviolet radiation. Importance of ozone layer. Ozone layer act as an discernible shield or protecting shield, protecting for a life and sustaining the biosphere on Earth. Biosphere means all living organisms. So it acts as a protective shell for all living organisms. B. Ozone molecules O3 absorbs most of harmful ultraviolet. Its symbol is UV radiation coming from the sun. This is a photo for the sun and their ultraviolet radiation. You see three arrows because the ultraviolet has three kinds: near, medium, and far. Okay, but you don't study it this lesson. Next. What happens if a large amount of this radiation were to reach the Earth's surface? Can you imagine the last photo? What happens if this a large amount of radiation reaches to the Earth? It could cause severe damage to DNA in living cells. It is not only increasing the temperature, but damage in the structure of DNA in living cells, and lead to in a serious diseases like skin cancer too. It could disrupt and destroy both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem. تؤدي إلى خلل من حد ما اضطراب في الايكو سيستم اللي احنا عايشين عليه، البيئة الأرضية، النباتات، damage ليهم destroy both of them. Not only نباتات، لا also aquatic or marine organisms affect on them. Third layer is called mesosphere. Mesosphere extends from an altitude of 50 kilometers to 80 kilometers. You have to remind also this number from 50 to 80 kilometers above Earth's surface. It is the coldest layer of the atmosphere. Its temperature dropping to around negative 93 Celsius. After it was increasing in stratosphere due to ozone layer, here the temperature decreases. Give reason: due to scarcity of gaseous molecules which are capable of absorbing solar radiation. If you compare between mesosphere and the stratosphere was having suitable amount of oxygen gas which formed ozone layer. It could absorb a lot of ultraviolet, but here there is a rarely amount of gases to can absorb solar radiation. Mesosphere plays an important role for protecting the Earth. Give reason: as most of meters enter the atmosphere from the outer space. Due to the friction between of them, it burns in this layer. This is an image. You can imagine this is meteorites. When it enters, it can causes a lot of fires and damage a lot of living organisms and causes a lot of burns. But refer to pounding a mesosphere, vacuum the layer can burn is a little amount may enter to the Earth's surface. Thermosphere, fourth layer. Thermo, do you remember this word? Thermo means heat, coming from heat. Thermo extend from, we have stopped at 80 to mesosphere, from 80 to altitude 700 kilometers. This is layer nitrogen, oxygen absorb solar radiation, causing temperature to rise dramatically, reaching to what? To 2000, from negative 93 to 2000 degree. Ionosphere. We have studied thermosphere, ionosphere. What do we mean by ionosphere? Ionosphere is found in is the lower part of thermo, so it is related to it, from 80 to 550 kilometers above the Earth's surface. I said contain oxygen and nitrogen atoms. Absorb high frequency of solar radiation, such as X-ray and gamma ray. So, ionosphere is the lower part of what? Thermosphere, found from 80 to 550. In it, two gaseous atoms, oxygen and nitrogen, absorb high frequency solar like X-ray and the gamma ray. This is a photo for ionosphere. Do you remember this photo? Play an important role in what we will study in the next slide. This is radiation cause gas atoms to become ionized. I said there is a lot of radiation come to this layer. This is radiation causes gas atoms to become ionized. Ionized means lose or gain. We said oxygen and nitrogen. So they gain or lose and they become electrically charged because they were neutral. Due to the charge, solar radiation, they become loss or gain and they become electrically charged. Like this photo, see, this is, we will see it in the next, and it's important for communication. Next, this is lower regions of the thermosphere are referred as lower. Why? This is a question. Due to the presence of high concentration of charged gaseous ions. Importance of ionosphere. Ionosphere can reflect electromagnetic waves. That is why it is used in long distance wireless communications. So reflect electromagnetic waves like radio waves. That is why electromagnetic waves, which need a very high speed, can reach to us. That's why it is used in a long distance in wireless communication. Next, it is the ability to reflect, like I have said, radio waves allow signals to travel over a vast distance without the need for satellites or cables. You imagine radio waves, wireless communications, reaches to us without cables, without need for satellites or cables. This is because of iono can reflect these all waves to the Earth's surface. In this layer, thermosphere, this is a phenomena occurs at the upper part. You have also studied it before. It's called aurora phenomena. The importance of ionosphere is not limited to wireless communication. In this layer, this is another phenomena happen. It's called aurora phenomena. Aurora phenomena responsible for, do you remember these colors? We have studied before that the Earth is surrounded by two magnetic belts. Two magnetic belts play an important role in scattering cosmic harmful radiation. Due to this scattering harmful cosmic radiation, it causes aurora phenomena. It appears like these colors, like cartoons. We will study it. This is phenomena observed only near to North and South poles. When high energy charged particles from the sun, part of solar wind, reaches the Earth, they influenced by the planet magnetic field. I said to you, called Van Allen belt or magnetic belt, and directed towards these poles. So when it is deflected towards the two poles, like these colors, you will watch it in the sky. How these colors is formed, how this phenomena is happening. These particles collide with ions. I said in this layer there is oxygen and nitrogen, may lose, may gain, so they become charged. The particles come and collide with ions and atoms in the ionosphere, exciting them. As these atoms return to the ground state, lower energy, so they return again to its normal state. They release light photons. You have studied in the chemistry before, gain a quantum, lose a quantum, like this. These atoms return to their ground state. They release light photons or various wavelengths. When they release photons or light photons, you will bright colors lighting the sky. This is a phenomena return to collide between atoms or ions with the particles. Okay. Number 5, exosphere. Exosphere is the highest layer of the Earth's atmosphere. Some scientists consider it is the uppermost part of the thermosphere. You have studied before that thermosphere, the lower part is iono and the upper part is called exosphere. No problem, you can study it and know it may be like this or this. So it is the last layer, okay, or the highest layer. It extends from the altitude. We have stopped in ionosphere at 7. We have stopped in thermosphere at 700 kilometers. So it extends from 700 to 1000 kilometers above Earth's surface. In exosphere, atoms and molecules move over vast distance without colliding with one another. This is also them to reach extremely high speed because there is no colliding, there is no frictions between the particles and molecules, enabling them particles to escape from the Earth's gravity and drift into outer space. Again, in exosphere, atoms and molecules move over vast distance without colliding من غير تصادم with another One, this is allows them تسمح لهم extremely high speed enables them some particles, not all, to escape from Earth's gravity and drift onto to the space. In exosphere, due to extremely low density and near vacuum condition, the exosphere and ideal regions for placing satellites and spacecraft. Again, extremely low density, كثافة بسيطة, near vacuum conditions. Exosphere idle is a very suitable region for placing satellites and spacecraft. They face virtually no resistance, allowing them to remain in orbit for a long period. Satellites in this layer have a direct impact on our daily lives. They facilitate international communications, wireless internet, and are core part of global posting systems, GPS. So satellites have the main role in facilitate international communication and wireless internet. Satellites are found in exosphere. This is a photo for, you can imagine satellites exist in exosphere. Exosphere also provide accurate data on the weather and the climate also. This is layer because we bought a satellite so it can tell us about the weather and the climate, helping to predict natural disasters, monitor the Earth's outer space, and enhance our understanding of the planet and the universe. Again, help us to predict. You can watch in the TV, there is a disasters. Maybe Earth is, we maybe find meteors or meteorites, or there is something like this. We can predict this by satellites in the space, in the exosphere, like predicting a natural disasters, climate, monitor Earth's and the outer space. We can monitor what happened outside, enhance our understanding, تزود الفهم لينا البلانيت and the universe للأرض and universe والكون بالكامل. This is a photo for satellites and you can see the Red Sea and Egypt from this. So satellites give us a photo about the planet Earth. Another point with us is talking about escape velocity. It is fascinating to know that Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system and has no gaseous atmosphere. So Mercury, no atmosphere, but Earth have atmosphere. What do we mean by escape velocity? Look at this photo and remind there is a number we will need it in the next. As a result of an enormous amount of solar radiation, a lot of amount reaches, causing the temperature to rise significantly due to absorption of this radiation. When the sun is no longer shining on a Mercury as the planet rotates, this radiation is emitted back into the Earth again. Mercury has no atmosphere, so it absorbs a lot of solar radiation. If the sun doesn't shine for Mercury, the planet rotates and the radiation back again to the space. And the planet cools rapidly, so it heats quickly and cools rapidly. Give reason because there is no atmosphere to retain the heat. Like I'll tell you in the forest, if you sit down in your home, you didn't find any walls, any protective shell for you. You will face high temperature in the morning and very low temperature in the night. This is what happened on the Mercury. You might be wondering why Earth retains its atmosphere while Mercury don't. Gas molecules have at extremely high speed depending on the mass of the gas molecule and the temperature. Naturally, the effective speed of the gas molecules known as VRMS become greater when the molecules of the mass is lower and temperature is higher. Again, effective speed when the gas molecules moved known as VRMS becomes greater when molecular mass is lower. Molecular mass for the gaseous is lower and temperature is higher. To escape from the planet gravity, an object regardless its mass must reach a specific speed called escape velocity VE, which is a fixed value for any given planet. So, to escape from the planet gravity, first object, regardless its mass, must reach a speed called escape velocity. To can escape, you have to reach to this speed, which is a fixed value for any given planet. Fixed, not changeable. For Earth, the escape velocity, I said to you, look to the photo and be recognize the number, is approximately 11.2 kilometer per second. This is the escape velocity on the Earth. Kilometer 11.2 kilometer per second. في لحظة 11.2. You have to remind this number. The presence of a gas around the planet is linked to the relationship between the mass of a gaseous molecule and the planet's escape velocity. If the effective speed of the gaseous VRMS is less than VE, the gaseous molecules cannot escape into space, so the planet can keep or retain the gaseous in the atmosphere. So VRMS is less than VE of the gaseous molecules, so they cannot escape from our planet. The effective speed gas of a gaseous molecules VRMS is equal or greater than the escape velocity of the planet VES and VE. The gas molecule can escape, so if it is less than VE, it cannot escape. Equal or greater, it will escape. Then the gas molecule can escape from the planet and drift onto the space. As the result of that gas become rare, entirely absent on the surface of the planet. I hope you enjoy this lesson. You will check a little questions. First, choose the correct answer. The most abundant gas on the Earth's atmosphere is oxygen, argon, nitrogen, or carbon dioxide. The answer, yes, nitrogen gas. Question 2. Oxygen gas makes up approximately. I said the percentage. You have to remind it and save it well. So the percent will be 0.04%, 0.93%, 21%, or 78%. So the percent is 21. Ozone layer in the atmosphere extend approximately from an altitude of 10 to 20, 10 to 50, 20 to 40, 20 to 50. The answer is 20 to 40. I hope you enjoy the lesson. Thank you a lot. See you soon. Thank you.